sooner or later you're gonna get it if you stay the course and you keep putting in the work. Because sometimes we are just faking it to make it. Yeah, but if you put the work in the background and you believe in yourself, you don't give up. At one point, you will get it.
So, real quick, I guess you can just go ahead and introduce yourself and what you're up to these days.
Okay, sure. Okay, my name is Shazwan. Before I joined Sigma School, actually, I've been working in the financial industry, lah. Mainly as a salesperson. I was in various banks for about 7 years. Previously, prior to that, I was in Takaful industry. And actually, I've been meaning to venture into IT right around COVID time, actually. So I did try to learn on my own, try to explore opportunity as data analyst as well as software engineering. Both I tried to learn on my own. I did some readings. I watched some YouTube tutorials. But then I never really committed to that properly up until when there was a turning point that I think I'm not keen on working in sales in the financial industry anymore. And I was looking for a structured learning program where I have uh, tutors, I have classes. That means that I have to commit my time. So that was when I found Sigma School through Instagram ads, actually. And I reached out to them. I think two or three times that I was in touch with Adrina mostly. And then I actually look for Sigma School's YouTube pages. I watched a few of their previous podcasts where they came in. Yes, and then I reached out to one of a Sigma School graduate through LinkedIn, and I can't remember his name but he gave glowing reviews about Sigma.
Hmm.
And that was when I discussed with my family. I quit my full time job and I joined Sigma School as a full time student. I graduated at the end of July, so practically August, and I was straight away in job hunt in August, September, and I got hired in October actually. So I've been in my current company for 1 month, which is DobiQueen. It's a Sigma school's hiring partner actually,
Yeah.
and they just like I think when they reach out to me, they just joined Sigma School, and the head of the HR reached out to me, and she gave me the basically the job posting through JobStreet. But I did mention that they were looking for an experienced developer basically because their requirement was 2 to 5 years. But the HR said it's okay. They are keen to explore me, so I went ahead to do some pre-tests, and then they called me for a face-to-face interview, and then I was hired lah.
Hmm. So now you're working as a back-end developer, right?
Backend developer. But that's the title lah. But basically, I do also some front ends, but mostly I'm focusing on the back ends.
Hmm. I would love to know more about what pushed you to make that pivot because it sounds like something happened with your role that you just got so tired of it, or I don't know, maybe
Okay.
the last interview I had actually because you were talking about how during the COVID period is when kind of you were looking into
Mm.
IT. We start to realize that like our roles are quite fragile when things get very difficult, and the world of coding and computer science and IT is like something you can do from home. So I don't know if that
Yes.
was a contributor to your decision.
Yeah, basically, but a lot of people actually I was grateful during COVID time because banking was actually one of the main industry that is not affected basically.
Okay.
Although I'm in sales, I actually did quite well during COVID times. As in my commissions, my targets wasn't really affected. But the things that I really turned me around because I contracted COVID 4 times, and
Hmm.
I was hospitalized for 2 of the 4 times.
Wow.
But then I made it through because that was when I started to think maybe I should find something that is more flexible lah. Like in the IT industry, as you just mentioned, is very very flexible. You can even find for remote jobs, which is not the case for sales. And then I think around 2022, my first daughter was born. And at that point, actually, I was already a sales manager. Uh, so previously, when I was still doing sales, my superior was very understanding in terms of sales. There's no like time. It's not a 9 to 5 job. So basically, if you clock in late, it doesn't matter if you hit your targets. That is what I was really used to. But then when I was promoted to sales manager in RHB Bank, my direct superior is actually more of a 9 to 5 guy. It's not 9 to 5, like 9 to whatever.
Yeah.
But basically, you need to be there at 9, which uh, it was a difficult time lah. I'm not sure whether you are married, you have a children or not. But having a first child, it took a bit of a toll lah in terms of more sleepless nights in the early part. So that was when I talked to him that I think I can't really clock in at 8:30 or 9 because I will stay late until 8 to 9 p.m. That's the earliest that I leave lah. So if I need to be there at 9, I basically need to go out house before 7 just to beat the traffic, all the traffic. So he can't accept that. So I said that after all the contributions, like even you promoted me to a manager internally, which means that you were happy with performance, and you had the trust in me. But then when I promoted, it became a totally different thing. So that's when I think I stayed as a manager for 1 year plus, and then I went back to doing sales at another bank. Still had the not the same experience lah, but then even I have the numbers. I'm being pushed to, like, sometimes they need me to go to other branches. Sometimes they need me to cover for other products which is not in my KPI. I don't really feel great or appreciated about that. That is when I say enough is enough lah.
So was it like scary for you to make such a drastic pivot
Of
because
course, man. Of course, it was really scary because basically, I have only one child. So basically, I'm the not the main breadwinner, but I'm not the only breadwinner. I mean, but I'm the main breadwinner. So of course, I had to calculate all my expenses. I had to dip into my savings and everything. And paying to join the bootcamp is also not cheap. So basically, monetary wise, and then after graduating for 3 months, it was already in the back of my mind lah. Of course, Sigma has the money job guarantee, but that is within 1 year. So I was thinking that, oh, there are prospects that I'm not gonna get a job within 1 year. So but then I worked hard, I prayed, and I reached out to a few of my friends who's in IT. I landed only two interviews. The first interview I did not pass, and the second interview is passed, which is why I was really happy because they are one of Sigma School's hiring partners, and that made me feel like that it was a great decision to join Sigma because of the structure, support, and also the ecosystem that Derek has built.
Hmm. So how did you feel when you first received that like offer letter and it was like, oh, yeah, I actually
Oh,
get.
I was elated, man. I was really elated and relieved at the same time because basically I was after I finished the full time studying in the bootcamp. It took me 2 months lah to land the job, and the great thing is they really want me to start as soon as possible. Actually, they asked me to start. I went for the interview on a Thursday, and they asked for my references on Friday, which they failed to get in touch with a few of them. But basically, by Monday evening, the next Monday, they've already called me with an offer.
Wow.
And they want me to start on the Wednesday. So basically, less than 1 week lah, within 1 week. But then I said I'll be only able to start on the next Monday.
Yeah, because I know like how hard it is to get a job in your sector, in your experience sector, let alone in like like something so new that you were like
Yeah.
you just graduated from a boot camp. So I can imagine like it was very satisfying. Lah. Yeah.
And then there was one thing that basically depends on hiring team. They can look at it as my weakness or my strength, which is my working experience.
Mm.
With my 10 years of working experience, you can look at it as uh, oh, but he's old, as in he's older lah, compared to someone who is learning.
Mm.
We prefer someone who is younger, like a
Mm.
fresh graduate or 1 or 2 years working experience. But my luck was that my hiring manager look at it as a strength lah, in terms of I do know how to communicate with people because I was in sales. And then 10 years of working experience, basically, you are not going to like, you don't like someone, you're going to leave, you're going to find another job, which means that I need the stability already.
Mm. Okay.
So I'm glad they look at it that way instead of a weakness on my part.
Mm. So when you first came across Sigma School on social media ads, right? Is it?
Mm.
How long did
Yes,
it take
correct.
for you to be like, okay, this actually looks like a viable option, you know? Because it sounds like it's a big decision, lah. It's not cheap, and
Mm.
also like there's a lot of bold promises. At what point did you realize, okay, this could actually be a real option that I will look into?
Because as you mentioned, there's a lot of programming programs or schools that offers this kind of programs, even shorter ones like 1 month. But then I had a friend who actually did sort of a similar thing where he was a chef, and then he tried to venture into IT. I'm not sure whether you heard of it, but he said the name is 42KL. Basically, they learn together at your own pace. And he said that he took about 1 year to like really land a job. So I said, uh, what I wanted was more of an express thing. Of course, there's no such thing as shortcut or express, but I was willing to learn it on full time basis for 3 months. And the thing that convinces me about Sigma School is the money back guarantee program actually, because if you are not confident in your structure, you just like, okay, I'll get your money and I'll teach you whatever I want to teach you. If you get a job, you get a job, whatever. Those kind of school. But Sigma is not that lah. If you really offer a money back guarantee, because who wants to dip into their revenue thing, right? You already calculate that as a revenue, then we want to return it to you. Nobody wants to do that unless you are really confident and you really want your students to get a job if they want to get a job.
Mm. Yeah.
And seeing the previous batches of Sigma School graduates, I think I saw in LinkedIn about 3 or 4 people who I checked their background. They weren't in IT and they managed to get a job. So I think positively that okay, this could be me too.
Mm. So when you first joined the boot camp, right? What were your expectations and how did the reality compare?
The expectation, because again, frankly speaking, I'm not really much of an IT guy, because there's some people who, even though they are not working in IT, not saying IT, they often in front of their PC or laptop playing mobile games in Discord, and they do know hardware stuff, some software stuff. Generally, I'm not that. So my expectation was it's gonna be a really steep learning curve. And for the first week, it was quite manageable, quite easy lah to say, because it was a simple thing. But then when it comes into the like more complicated things, it was kind of overwhelming. But the good thing is because I only took the online class, I did not go to the physical class. But I do message and say hi and keep in touch with a few of the students in my batch lah, which we talk to each other. We apa, what do you say? We give each other supports lah, meaning to say that we are in the same boat, and we are trying to reach the same beach. So let's just do it, even though it's hard. And there are some sleepless nights just to complete the assignments. And then, but the when I enter into working force, it's another like totally different level lah. But I'm grateful for some of, not some lah, for the instructors. Like they do mention that working environment is not gonna be like this lah. Basically, you're gonna be working in a team, which as a feedback to Sigma, I think Sigma could try to implement that, make at least a pair or a trio to do a simple project, just for people to get experience working with each other.
Okay, okay. So the sense of community that you got in Sigma School is it helped lah.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
I even met Derek during because Sigma does organizes some sports session after a module is finished, and I met Derek there, and I also went for a drink with him after we finished playing badmintons, and learning his story. Like even he's a self-taught coder, so that was really inspiring. Inspiring. So, and he said that sooner or later you're gonna get it if you stay the course and you keep putting in the work. Because sometimes we are just faking it to make it. Yeah, but if you put the work in the background and you believe in yourself, you don't give up, at one point you will get it. That
Hmm.
really helps.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to be able to talk to people who's also went through that path and you can see it's definitely possible, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah. Was there a moment during the boot camp where you were like, wow, this is really tough? Like maybe a specific moment or a module or a topic that you were like, wow,
I
this is
say
really tough.
during we still remember like a few of us mentioned Redux concept was really really like the layers are okay, you put this here and then you put this here, this layer you put this here, this layer you put this here. But then when that at that point it was really really like, oh, this is mind blowing, man. But then now when it's working in a working environment, it's like 100 times more layers compared to that. So but then the Redux part lah, a few of us was actually really hated that.
Yeah, but how about alternatively, was there a moment where you're like, oh wow, I can actually do this? Like I believe in myself more because I just completed this thing, or you feel more confident, like this is a real path I can take. Was there a
I
moment?
say that because for every modules there are like project that we need to make, right? I think in total there's three or four. Uh, the first project I barely finished, meaning to say it's just like it's there, but even I was not satisfied with it. But I think by the third and the fourth project, I was really proud of it, as in I tried to do something that is comprehensive, as in it's not just to meet the passing requirements. I tried to implement some more things, some more features lah, I say. So when I managed to complete that with some, like stay up in until 3 in the 4 in the morning just to do your projects. So that is satisfying, and that builds confidence in terms of, wow, I built this, and then I showed to my family members. Oh, although the use is not like for real world use, but I mean practically lah, it's just a basic program that nobody gonna use it, but just to play around like, oh, I built this, oh, you built this. When people say that, oh, you can do a website, basically people would think that, and that really builds confidence and put some belief in myself.
Hmm. So when once you graduated, right? What was that? What was that 2 month job search period like for you?
It was hell, man. It was
Yeah.
hell. uh, I think my first interview called me after my 100 plus application.
Wow.
That's the thing lah. For the first month, I did not get called in for any interview, not even a response. It's just like, okay, this is has expired. You may or may not hear from employee in the future. And my focus was actually to apply for companies, smaller medium companies, not the big companies, because I had my friend in IT gave me an advice. If you're just starting out, it's better to start a smaller company where you have the chance to do more things, even though it's outside of your job scope, just to help you grow your skill. So that was my main focus lah. And basically, the smaller medium companies, they tend to need people more urgently, because whenever they post vacancy, is because somebody is leaving or somebody has left. It's not like a big corporation where they keep candidates in their back pocket lah. So when 100 plus companies didn't even respond to my application, it was really a down moment. At that point, I was actually started thinking about getting a job in sales first, with while still looking for a job in IT lah. But my wife convinced me that it's better that I focus first, because we still have some savings to live on. We are not that desperate yet. So when the second interview came, I was relief, very relief, and I joined the Sigma every Tuesday, the job search group also. Most of my friends was facing the same thing as me lah. So it makes me feel like, okay, it's not because of I'm a bad programmer, or because of my resume is not impressive. So it's because that is the reality lah. It's a tough job market out there.
Mm. So yeah, how was the support you received from Sigma School, like honestly after you graduated, and the support in terms of searching for a job, having someone to
Mm.
consult or whatever, like what was that like?
I say I didn't depend a lot on Sigma School support, but the support is really there. The weekly catch up, and then you can even book for like a mock interview, resume review. All those things are, it's not really, you can't get it anywhere else, in terms of somebody who's in the industry suddenly, okay, come, let's do a mock interview with you. I'll just help you to brush up your skill on interviews, or on your technical interview. So Sigma offers that, and I say that there is really something that is very, very, very valuable, and I appreciate that effort from Sigma, as well as uh, your batchmates lah, who are still looking for jobs. Most of them is even like because of course per batch there are serious students, there are non-serious students, there are somebody who like has to pivot back to their old thing because they feel like it's not working out. So the few who are there, I know they are really good programmers in the batch, and they are facing the same struggle as me. And it's nice to feel that it's not nice that others are also not succeeding yet, but it feels kind of validating that we are actually trying, and everybody is actually facing the same problem. I say my portfolio is not really it's not the best portfolio to say lah. And I even asked my manager currently, who was interviewing me, why did he hire me? Because I say my portfolio is not really attractive for a beginner. I say that. He says that in the age of AI currently, the best thing to look for a programmer is actually the ability to think, and the ability to think the big picture. Because he said that AI can do a lot of things. It's not like say just be a vibe coder. I'm not saying that. It's just that if you understand the concept, and if you understand the big picture, the flow, you don't really need to straight away understand A to Z. But if you understand uh, most of it, like say 60 or 70% of how this thing works, you can be a good programmer, provided that you put in the work. So my interview was actually, there was no coding involved during interview. It was more of a concept, case studies lah, where if this happens, how would you can you list the possible cause, and what would you do to prevent it from happening again? So conceptually talking, I say that coding wise, I wasn't the best lah in terms of coding, but I say the ability to think from the question that is being asked, I say I can answer that conceptually. So I think that's what made me hired. Mm, of course, it is a good foundation lah, because basically any language you use, JavaScript, HTML, CSS will be involved for the web page. And my role is actually mainly using PHP Laravel. So there's only little JavaScript lah. So I say that whatever that is being taught in Sigma School, I think the thing that stands out the most is actually the GitHub, because in work environment that is the most important thing to know lah. So which I think it was taught to us once, and then we reviewed that another time when we had like a class finish earlier. So those kind of things kind of stick with me lah, because I also managed to screw up on the GitHub in Sigma School, which the instructor personally taught me how to do that, and that really helped me lah now. Mindset shift, basically because when I came in, it was not forced. It was something that was I am looking to do. So there was not a big mindset change that I need to make, because, as I said, I'm an experienced worker, and I joined this with a purpose, with a clear purpose, that I want a job in IT as a programmer. So coming into the boot camp, that was already my mindset. Although coming into IT from a non-CS background, I say that you need to be prepared to work odd hours and even be on standby on weekends, lah, which is something also I'm used to being a salesperson. Yes. Mm. I say that this coding bootcamp is really, really, really helpful for you if you have a clear goal, because there are anyone can join any kind of boot camp, any kind of a learning program, but you have to know what you want at the end of it. If you just want to upskill, or you just want to learn programming, you can learn it on your own, in terms of there are a lot of tutorials. But if you're really serious about finding and landing a job in IT, Sigma School, I say, is because I don't know all the schools, but I say it's top three in Malaysia. I can say that, not only about what they teach you, because in the end, whoever teach you something, if you have the capacity and you have the intent to be the best, or to be better than you are, you can also look up a lot of things, and you can even learn something during your bootcamp on your own. And Sigma also provides a lot of additional tasks optional that you can learn, which actually will help you. And the support of job finder, that is the best thing I feel about Sigma School. Mm. Okay, you're welcome, Ethan. Okay, I hope next time I won't leave you hanging for so long. Maybe you can just reach out to me. If I can, I will help you. Okay, thank you. You too.